Today, coming up on the Canadian Real Estate Show.
Real estate trusts are sending rents soaring and reshaping Canada's cities.
Mortgage rules changes to add fuel to Canadian housing recovery.
Canada is cracking down on Airbnb and short-term rentals.
Sales out there in Newfoundland's tight housing market are soaring thanks to cash-flush newcomers.
Trump suggests Canada become 51st state after Trudeau said tariff would kill economy.
And Canadian couples struggling financially despite earning $300K, but won't let go of a $1.4 million house.
All this and more coming right up on the Canadian Real Estate Show. Let's go.
Darryl, why does the government got such a hard-on for Airbnb owners?
Oh my God. I don't even think they're really thinking this through. But I mean, they're late because it did kind of screw up the market on the way up, right? And it's gonna equally screw up the market on the way down. Did you see how many units they're going after? Like there's 235,000
That's what
Airbnb.
They think that they
units.
have a 230,000 short-term rental units, right? But
Add
that
that
could
to
be
the
like a
mix.
unit in somebody's house, all that kind of stuff. Maybe
that what-
nobody's going to, think about it. If Airbnb rules, right? And again, this is about enforcing the rules. And so the rules are, depending on which municipalities, and maybe you got to rent out a part of your house. Maybe it's a certain amount of days. Maybe it's the certain area and location that you're in. Maybe it's how you run the ad, whatever it is. At the end of the day, people who are, doing what they're supposed to do and by the rules are going to be able to operate, right? But now you have all these other things that are coming at them. I mean, with the HST implications that selling a Airbnb, strictly Airbnb property, would have on the sale. You could be facing HST like a commercial property. All the tax benefits that they used to have, where if somebody was able to write off their expenses, but now if it's if you're not doing it within the rules, then they're gonna make sure that you can't write off your expenses on your tax returns. The rules that they've been bringing out, certain places it's just like a hard no. We're not doing any Airbnb. Like I just feel like I get it. Like I see why there's certain places like ICE condos in Toronto is like the prime example. Was like people are dying because of parties and different things like that, and it just becomes a real mess that people don't want. There's a lot of condos changing their declaration right now to not allow Airbnbs because they're older buildings and they didn't have that in their rules and bylaws and stuff like that before.
Are you ready to subscribe to this channel? Finally, have you finally made the decision to hit the like button, TK?
Guys, please support the show, like, comment, and subscribe.
Don't forget about Instagram, the Clips channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on Rumble now, TK. I don't know if you knew that. We're on Rumble.
I don't even know what Rumble is, but you know
TikTok.
what, guys? Support us. Leave
That's
a
right.
review. Leave a comment. We
Do
appreciate
something.
you, and we love you guys.
If you like these hats we're wearing, make Canada great again. Then check out our merch store, TK.
We got merch.
We got merch.
Check out the link
in
below,
description.
guys.
Yeah.
And if you're looking to book a call with me, check out the link below for my Calendly, and we can talk about real estate or anything else on your mind. Book a call.
If you're thinking about advertising on this show, you can contact us at a link in the description below.
But I mean, why is everybody like so against it? It's like, who else is getting the target? Airbnb owners and foreigners.
Sure.
They got the same target on their back.
Well, it's easy to give them the blame because we're the ones who abused them in the scheme, right? They were the ones who didn't understand enough so that they bought the stuff on the way up, right? And then, people that lived here would go and call back home, right? Or have all kinds of connections back home, or maybe the reason they were here was to bring some of that money over here, right? And they were just buying whatever they thought was like, I don't know, even available. I mean,
But let's
sometimes,
but let's talk about Airbnbs though specifically, right? So
but
it's like
people's strategy had to involve it being an Airbnb for the numbers to make any bloody sense in cities like Vancouver and Toronto, right?
sure.
So all of a sudden, when it didn't make any sense, Airbnb comes on the scene and it's like, oh, well, if I get $400 a night for this thing and I'm only
But it's
empty for
work
four
though. Like
nights,
if for you to put together an Airbnb site and for you to be able to put together that property and for you to be able to manage it and all that kind of stuff, it's work. You know, you're hustling. You should be allowed to do it in order to be able to, make that extra money where you need to. Now, there are some downfalls, but it's just like when people complain against a developer's project. There's like these little tiny people with these big, huge voices who come in and somehow move the needle. And then all of a sudden, we don't have housing anymore. Airbnb, it's the same thing. There's like this like few group of people who are like, and then they're leveraging the housing crisis. They're saying, oh, the reason housing prices are so expensive is look at these numbers. We've had all these long-term rentals come off the market. This is what people could be renting. Oh, we've
no.
got all these properties being bought now by investors who are paying
You
more
know what
than
it
the average
really is,
person
though?
because they can afford. Hold on, let me finish. Before they couldn't make sense of those numbers, like you said, but now with the Airbnb income, you're. But it's like this small group of people who are actually voicing this, and what nobody's understanding is like the free market will always prevail. Once you start having the government involved and that they're trying to control everything and trying to micromanage these small economies throughout the whole entire country, with the same type of blanket policies, this really impacts things in a negative way, and it actually takes units out of the market. If you could have Airbnb, then maybe some condo buildings would be getting built right now. If you could do Airbnb in certain places, maybe people would be going out there and wanting to build more, right? Multifamily with some Airbnb suites. Think about it. It create more units, more
Yeah, listen,
options.
from one aspect, it is a necessity to keep the thing going or to keep being able to sell undesirable things, right? The other solution would be to, also let the market correct itself. And really, do people really want that many Airbnbs to choose from? Do people
Yes. When I use Airbnb, I want more Airbnbs to
you
choose
want
from.
more Airbnb?
That's why I use the service. Why would I not?
But so if somebody else could just put an Airbnb like right beside the wall that you share all of a
Yes.
sudden, like, would you
Yes.
be cool with that too?
I'd have the choice to move. This is my choice that I have in this
Choice to move.
country.
So
What if
there
my
you
neighbor
go.
plays the drums? What if my neighbor's got loud dogs? What if
Yeah.
my neighbor, does drugs or is dealing drugs? All these same scenarios happen in every single place. The more
Right.
money you have, the more exclusive of a neighborhood you could be in, and therefore buy yourself privacy. If I need to live in a place that I can't afford to get that type of privacy, then I got to look at my own situation and say, well, why haven't I been able to afford it?
Right.
Why, like I can only afford a certain level of house, a certain size of house in my current situation. So if
Right.
I got a neighbor that's got a dog barking, I have to say to myself, well, geez, TK, why couldn't you go and afford the 2 acre property, just north of the city for $3 million? Well, because of the choices that I made in my life. You know, I didn't save 90% of my income, whatever the choices is. I had to buy that car, I had to buy that, go on that vacation, all these
Well,
things. So the fact that they're targeting Airbnbs now, though, is just like one more thing after
it's
another.
the
So
worst timing for it.
this announcement is a $50 million short-term rental enforcement fund. The program will provide funding to help municipalities increase enforcement and compliance activities for short-term rentals. So it's the federal government saying, we want to crack down on Airbnbs with no
Right.
real, like, you know,
No, but
understanding of all the different types of situations that Airbnb renters and Airbnb hosts would have in every single province and every single city. There's just no way that they could possibly understand it. So they're like, okay, we've already changed up the rules. We've already cracked down on as many different ways as we can. Let's start funding the rental enforcement fund because having municipalities enforce this is, necessary for our policies to actually even come into effect. So now this is their new way of showing, hey, vote for us. Hey, we heard from like 6 people that this is what you guys are worried about and that this is going to create lower housing prices. Therefore, we're doing our job. Here's $50 million of your own money. you know, here's what a waste of $50 million. It's like nothing. Let's just give them 50 million. What is that okay? We'll vote on that. Okay, 50 million. How many people do they have to collect, right? $50 million from? Like how many people's taxes was that money, in 1 year? I'd like to hear
So,
the numbers on that.
well, so I think they're thinking they're coming from a place where they're going to help have more supply come on for full-time renters, right?
Build more purpose-built rentals, Daryl.
Well, this is the point
Take that
I
50
would love to
million.
make if you'd let me finish a goddamn
Today, today,
sentence
today,
today, for
today,
Christ's
I'm
sakes.
controlling the conversation, Daryl.
Holy shit.
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
I'm,
Because
I'm
you
ready
seem to
now.
have a lot to say today.
I'm ready now. Go.
I don't even know what I was saying.
You were saying about the
You're
purpose-built
cutting me
rentals.
off.
The purpose-built rentals. Go.
Purpose built rentals. I don't know what the hell. You keep going.
Okay.
I have
So
no
if they
clue what the hell
only
I was going
had
to say.
taken that $50 million and decided to actually put it into something that would create housing,
How
it would
much
go a
time did
lot
they take
further.
to figure this stupid idea out? Like, where the fuck did this come from? How long has it been in a think tank? How many people focus their attention on this thing? And
Mhm.
why did they come up with this now? Like, why is now the right time to make this announcement? Is this like a hero move for votes? This is going to get you votes because you all of a sudden you crack down on the evil investors that have distorted the market? Like, what the fuck is the point of this thing? And who is even put in charge? And why
The Canadian
wasn't this?
Department of Finance, where'd they get the money from?
Well, but why didn't they put this money towards building more like units for people?
Yeah.
Right. But then you get the whole thing like rents are going down or crashing if you talk to D Trent, but they're like going down in all kinds of places. Even though one of the first things we read about was that, big companies, what did I say before? What was the headline? Big companies are like REITs, or hold on a second, real estate trusts are sending rents soaring and reshaping Canada. Meanwhile, in Toronto, Vancouver, rents are coming down. Um, and there's more and more rentals coming on the market, and there's like two different stories. There's always been two different stories. Is there enough supply? Is there not enough supply? And we see like there's fucking condos all over the place for rent, for like to buy. They're coming on the market. They're coming up for completions. There's more and more coming, and now all of a sudden they come up with this move that just is gonna like, what is this move going to do? Some people are going to get scared and put their thing on a long-term market, I suppose. Some people are going to sell it because they can't make any money on a long-term rental, but it's going to screw up the market for sure, isn't it?
This will waste $50 million of taxpayers' money. That's
Are
what
they
it'll
going
do.
to
You know what?
catch people?
I think this topic is boiling our blood a little bit. I think we got to decide to move on. Do you
We got to
agree or
decide to
disagree?
move on. Well, we talked it to death and we're not getting anywhere. That's for
We're not getting
sure.
anywhere. Let's talk about the.
What about the
It's great that you
mortgage
made these
rules?
points, though. The mortgage rule changes. Yeah, it's great that you made these changes here. So December 15th.
December 15th. And are people like, we had a bad November, didn't we, for sales? Or we had a good November? I don't
We'll
know how
talk
to
about
look
that
at this
after.
anymore. Well, but
Yeah, we'll talk.
well,
Sales were good. Sales were better than last year. They were reasonable.
but are people waiting for this rule to come into effect? Because it
No,
makes it, does it make it easier or harder to buy a house?
makes it easier for like a very small portion of people who have like $220,000 family income, household family income, and are looking to buy a property that's over 1 million, and they don't have 20% down. It's like how many people are even in that basket?
Don't they have to be in that basket if they live in Toronto or
Why do
Vancouver
they
or
have to be?
surrounding?
Well, they could have more than 20%
How
down.
more than 20% down.
Yeah,
Right.
then this
And
doesn't
then
apply to
what?
them.
But then they get a worse rate, no?
No, better rate.
Better rate if you have
No.
more than 20% down and it's
Oh,
not
sorry.
insured,
No,
right?
insured rates
No.
sometimes can be better, but you pay the insurance premium.
Right.
You pay the insurance premium, so it doesn't cost you
So this
less
isn't going to
money.
move the market. This is like people aren't
No,
sitting there waiting. Few
no.
people, maybe.
Listen,
Nothing.
anytime TD is going to release something, you know, TD is in a lot of different businesses in the banking industry, but mortgages is one of them, right? So they're kind of slipping it in there. Hey, we expect prices to kind of go up 2 to 4% next year, and that this type of situation is going to increase the amount of potential buyers, and that before they used to have to come up with 96,000 or 220,000. Now they only have to come up with 96, and they come up with all these different scenarios based on like numbers, based on math. Yeah, okay, I get it. If this were the math, that would be exactly what the numbers would be. But it's just how many of those scenarios actually exist,
Well, there's got to
right?
be a decent amount of people with a household income of 220 grand that have the now 125 necessary as a down payment to get this deal. And I mean, if you got the dream of a decent house, you need to spend $1.5 million at least in like Toronto, Vancouver, surrounding. I don't know how much it
Yeah.
costs in Calgary or
Well, it says
Montreal.
80% of Canadian households had incomes below 150K in 2020. And although this share has probably reduced since then.
Right. But there's also
Yeah.
60% of the population that rents. So that's got to be out of that 80, right?
Well, that's what I mean. So we're in a very small group of buyers. I don't think this is something that's going to move the needle. It's not even something that I take into consideration. If a seller or client brought it up to me, I would say,
Forget about
um,
it.
you don't need to worry about this at this point in time, and that we should look at more of the microeconomics in your neighborhood. What are your neighbors selling for? How many houses are on the market? You know, that type of stuff in order to determine when the right time to sell is. So I don't know. I wouldn't call it a nothing burger. It's going to help people. We think it's going to help the developers more than anything. The developers who've got these high priced, overpriced properties to sell, and that there's people who are maybe needing to close on those properties. And so now the developer
Right.
can get their money because that person, even though they put 20% down,
On
the
the
loan to
new
value
stock.
is the loan to value is going to be lower because they overpaid.
Right.
So now their loan to
So,
value might be 10% or 90%,
oh,
sorry.
yeah.
So they
Now
only
you
have
can like,
10%. And so now they've got an option to bring on a co-signer because they're saying, look, I have no more money. I can't put up any more money. Then the builder can say, well, you're going to lose everything or get a co-signer and we'll get you a mortgage now, 30-year amortization.
are there still people getting caught on low rise projects like that bought at the
Uh,
wrong time and can't close
there's
now?
a
Like,
few.
isn't it
There's a
too
few.
tight?
Yeah, no, there's a few.
Really? So what is
Mark
that?
Morris, man. This is what Mark's been telling
But
us.
aren't they all condos? I just
No, he's
pictured they're
saying
all condos.
no, he's saying that the low rise is happening too. The last time we talked to him one on one, he was saying it was still happening, which was a few months ago now, but I know it's still happening.
Really? I can't
Yep.
imagine. Like, when the hell would you have bought your low rise house or townhouse? Because they don't
Some of them
take
are
long to
after the
build.
market. Some of them are after the market crash, believe it or not.
Well, but
And then
that's what I'm saying.
people were just still falling for it.
But why, how are you caught? Like, you must have had a new rate in your brain and you must have the new pricing. So, like,
No, no, you
how are
didn't
you
have the new
caught?
pricing. You bought new home pricing, and now
Yeah.
when the appraisals are happening, they're like, "You paid what?" And they're purchased
From how
post.
long ago? It's still
It could have
dropping
been
that fast?
2023 because
2023. Houses get built in like 6 months, 8 months. How far
no,
ahead
not
is
when not all the projects. Some of the projects have got issues, delays, different things.
So this is like from, I don't know. This that doesn't make any sense to me.
This is what
But I
Mark told
guess it
us, and
must
he's
be
dealing with
happening.
those people, and that's
Yeah, I
that's
guess it
the
must be
information that's
happening.
going on. Yeah,
Well, you know what else is happening? And
what's happening out
I
there?
got something in my ear here. We got a live phone call from our friend, President President? Is he president or is he president
President
elect?
elect.
I don't know because he was president already.
I guess we can call him Mr. President.
Some would say, TK, he's still the president and that Biden was never the president, but we won't go down that crazy hole. But anyway, so yeah, we don't want to keep you waiting. Mr. Trump, what can we do for you today?
Frankly, Justin, I'm going to make this very short and very sweet. You are a disaster. Your country is a disaster, and the United States wants to help the poor people of Canada. I think this can be huge. I want your oil, Justin. I want your uranium, Justin. I want your lithium, Justin. I can't believe I let you step foot in my home. You are a dog. Quite frankly, Justin, I am certain that you are retarded. Let's make this easy. Give the U.S. all of your natural resources, and I will cancel the 25% tariffs on every bloody thing that comes across the border. Now hurry up and go back to your overlords at the World Economic Forum cult and tell them Donald said to fuck off. I'm taking control of this planet back. If you don't comply, not only will I tariff the fuck out of you, quite frankly, I will press the red button, Justin. I will aim it at your house. You're a loser and a disgrace. Almost as big a disgrace as the Tom Story show. Quite frankly, Justin, it's your moo boy chick. Goodbye.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. And from one nation to another, we salute you. And like I said before, remember, Toronto, it's just like New York. It's just a little bit more north, but it's a great place up here. And I can introduce you to a few people if we're really seriously considering becoming the 51st state of the great country of United States of America.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, what's
Really
the
though,
difference,
like
anyways? Quite
why not?
honestly. What is the
Honestly,
difference?
I'm in the business of selling houses, and all those Americans coming north to the border to buy houses in Toronto is good for me.
We
So,
send them all the resources already, anyways. They own all the good shit here. Like,
right,
what's
we're
the
gonna get
difference?
things done.
Yeah,
Like they're gonna totally make things better. Like what are our major concerns?
I don't know.
Everyone's
What
gonna say
happens?
healthcare like an idiot. They're gonna
Like,
say
yeah,
healthcare.
great healthcare. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody's saying
it's
healthcare
awesome.
anymore.
It's
That's not
so
on the
nice
list.
to wait 9
No,
months to save your life if you live that long.
no,
Amazing,
no.
you know?
I don't think
Like
so.
we'll have some sort of specialty programs within the province for just like we do now for healthcare. That's it, bottom line.
What about Quebec? Should we bring Quebec with us, or are they going to just be
I think
Canada
this
now?
would be an
They
opportunity for to Quebec to just go their own
they
way,
think they're Canada
right?
anyways, and
Just
they're
listen, you
French.
guys
They're
want to go?
different.
We
We
one upped you.
salute you
We're
too.
leaving. We're leaving. You guys
Adios.
stay. You could be Canada, and we'll be the
Reverse.
51st states,
That's right. Reverse referendum. Let's
right?
go.
We'll vote
Yeah.
you guys
What
out.
a great
Jeez.
idea. Well, I
Holy
think if you
smokes.
think of it as a merger, okay, and
Yeah.
if like, what do we got to tariff
Business.
each other for? What do we got to fight for? What do we
Nah.
got to have a border for? Like, why do I have to wait to just drive between Niagara Falls and Niagara
Niagara
Falls?
Falls. Like
Like,
it's all the cool places. Then we don't need to have
oh,
two Niagara Falls anymore. We can just have one Niagara Falls.
you guys get to have the good Niagara Falls now. This is a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
And then you get the CN Tower. I mean,
Yep.
the
That's
CN
not that
Tower,
interesting anymore, but it's there.
it's there.
And you get the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And then
You know what? Let's just make a trade. Let's just give them the Leafs, and then we'll just keep everything else.
what will that do to the channel, TK? What are we do we have to change the name, or is this just going to be the
Well,
biggest
someone-
state
someone-
in the
someone
whole
actually-
union?
Someone actually mentioned a change in the name too. I mean, maybe one day we evolve into something deeper than real estate, something that's going to be, bringing
North
people a little
American
bit
real estate
more, a little bit, a little bit more than just real estate content, but more about life skills and entertainment, and show you how to change a light bulb, and we
That's
can
right.
open up toys and different electronics and let you guys know what we think about them, or do reaction videos, or
Yeah,
we can
we
just
tried
talk about
that.
what we've been talking about, which is pretty much a whole lot of garbage.
A lot of garbage talking about coast
like-
to coast Canada, TK.
it
This
seemed
is
like-
what we're best at.
We're
And
good, but hold on a
especially-
second. Hold
Oh.
on. Just before
You're
we get
gonna
off
ruin that?
Trump Trudeau here. So I heard
Oh.
that like he wasn't allowed to stay at the Mar-a-Lago
Mar-a-Lago, yeah. Sorry,
place,
kid.
right?
Yeah.
They were like and kind of invited him over and stuff like that, but they will give Trudeau a position as the governor
As the governor.
of the 51st state.
Yeah,
It would
you
be too
can't stay
awkward though
here.
because we got so many different. Like you would really have to do 60 states, and each
60
one of our provinces just became a state.
just became a state.
Yeah, and even the territories.
Why not?
Why not? United States, they literally named their country suitable enough to add states. And so like there's no limit here. They could
Well-
just add another 12 states.
Really, I
They've
mean,
already got Alaska up there.
you may have to combine like the prairies and maybe Quebec, or like I don't know. There's
think
not
so.
enough
I think
people
the provinces should have.
anywhere.
No,
It's
I think
like
the provinces
Toronto.
should still have their or you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe Maritimes, Quebec, Ontario, prairies, which is
Everything
including
else.
Alberta,
Yeah.
BC, and then Northwest Territories. We'll just combine all the territories.
Do we
as
still
well.
own Yukon? Is Yukon still Canadian?
Yukon? Yeah.
What's that piece in the Northwest that we gave to the States for some stupid reason? That must have been a good deal for us. What was there?
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm talking? Is it Greenland? What's in the northwest corner of the map? Are we both complete idiots that we don't know this? Do you know what I'm
That's
talking
Alaska.
about, TK? Is it Alaska? Yeah, maybe it's Alaska. Map of
We didn't give them
Canada.
Alaska, Daryl.
We gave them whatever the hell this piece is. What's this piece? Oh, of course the map comes up wrong. Anyways,
Anyways,
it's this
Daryl, this
piece
does
here.
not sound like
Here.
it's
Oh, here it
factual.
is. Here's a map.
and our show's full of facts. All right. Speaking of facts,
USA. What is this? Yukon River. I don't know. This piece looks like it should be Canada, but then I guess the whole thing should be Canada,
Part of Alaska.
technically. Part of
let's
Alaska.
go coast. Someone who actually knows something
Somebody
about
who
the country.
knows something.
Okay, somebody who's going coast to coast every day. We got
Other
our
way.
very own Kip Conahan. Kip,
Kip, are you okay?
A message from
Kip Conahan.
Hey boys, Kip Conahan here. I'm back and I'm feeling great. You know what? You know what else is going really good right now? Out on the East Coast, Newfoundland and Labrador. Ever heard of it, boys? I bet you never been there, and you call yourselves the Canadian Real Estate Show. Sales are soaring. Who's buying? Out of province buyers, the mainlanders. Those guys will buy anything. On one property, they were listed for $309,000. 28 offers came in. Oh, Jesus, by 28 offers. Oh my God, it's 60,000 over asking. In total, 726 sales, and they only got 4 months left of inventory. That is incredible. What a seller's market. Time to get to, talk to the people in Newfoundland. Tell them, you gotta sell. You gotta sell. You gotta get out of Dodge. Sell it to those mainlanders, boys. You're gonna get more money. You're gonna get more money. But you know who's really pissed? The locals. They can't buy anything, those guys, anymore. They got $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 down payment, and they're priced out of the market. Sales and prices are up. Overall, prices are up 40% in 5 years. Who's moving to Newfoundland? Haven't they been there in the winter? Jesus, boys. Boys, you know what? Today's news is brought to you by nobody, because you guys don't have any sponsors. If it's not in the news, most likely it's not true.
All right, Kip. Holy jumping.
He's fired up. That
Right
boy's
where it
fired up.
hurts, eh? Right
Hey?
where it hurts. He just gave us a
that's
little
okay.
shot there at the end.
It's
Oh,
okay.
nice.
We work things out between Kip and I
nice.
and the show, so we're good.
I guess he got his money.
You know what? Yeah, he's good. He's good. And he seems to be doing well. He looks well today. He looks good.
He looked better than last week. That's
yeah,
for
he
sure.
looks good. I saw he's
Well-
not sleeping. He's not sleeping at the office anymore. He was going home every night now.
Those are some interesting stats they got out there. Can you
Yeah, I mean,
imagine
Newfoundland.
$300,000 to be able to buy a house, and not only a house, like a house that people are willing to pay $360,000 for?
Yeah.
That's
What a great retirement plan. I mean, think about it. You worked your whole life. You have there's lots of people that I know who moved to PEI. But you worked, I think Newfoundland's cheaper. So it's like you got all these places, BC, Ontario mainly, where, you're selling your home and you're walking away with X amount of equity, 500, 600, a million, whatever it is, depending on what city you
Or
luckily picked
starting
30
over.
years ago, right?
Because you got
Or
killed.
you're starting over,
right? Yeah.
you got killed, and you need
You
to
buy
find a
something
place
for
that's going to
300
work.
grand. Yeah.
And Newfoundland's the place. I mean, whether you're working from home or you're retired, or you're going to start a little small business and try to find some work. I mean, there's certain things. We were always talking about how to convince the immigrants to go to the places that we don't really want to go.
Right.
Like that was always
and Winnipeg.
just like, why don't we just send them all to Timmins, Ontario, and what? Because nobody wants to live in those places, all right?
Yeah,
But
it's
guess
fucking
who
cold.
will settle with those locations?
The
Canadians
settlers.
who've been here already for a long time.
That's
and
why
can
they're called settlers.
appreciate the fact that these big cities don't really have much to offer them anymore, and that the cost of living's too high, and that if they move to places like Wind River, I think that's a place,
Where?
Timmins, Thunder Bay, these small places that really have had population unchanged for decades, and that these are awesome places for people to be able to live in and to support themselves in, and that if they've got some sort of pension or something like that, they're going to be okay. Like that is a solution.
You start forcing the same thing that we saw here that really accelerated during the COVID thing, is like the locals get pushed out of the local area, right? Because now all of a sudden you get this guy like you're talking about who is flush with cash, wants a easier life, a cheaper life, and there's only so many places worth going to. Out east, you can get something nice on the water, I suppose, and grab some lobster out of your backyard and have a nice meal. But you're doing it for like this is a desirable place for 360. So like, an average place is probably in the 200 still. And that sounds appealing, especially when you're coming from this goddamn place and you buy a piece of shit for 1.7 and you work as a slave for the rest of your life trying to afford it. And every
Yeah.
time you fix something, something else breaks and it's like you can't
But don't
ever
worry,
get ahead.
if you buy for 1.45, the government will make sure that you get a mortgage that you'll never pay off. It's
That's
okay.
right.
Don't worry.
Ever,
The government's there
ever.
for you. Yeah.
They're right. They're making it
So
easier.
that's probably a solution, right? Is get people to go, get Canadians to move out of the cities,
Farther.
the newcomers to come into the cities, let them be the new slaves of the next generation and work for the
Settlers.
next 40 years,
Yeah.
right? Which is what every immigrant population's ever done. Like when you talk to people who have
Give them a
money,
fucking
they
free
always
acre in Bootenville.
everybody who's got money always starts with a hardworking immigrant.
Yeah,
Give me
here you
one
go.
story. Give me one story where someone can honestly say of a wealthy family who didn't start with someone came and started to like work their tail off as a new Canadian
That's
and
right.
was able to build a fortune that now their
That's right.
families benefited from years to come. So you
Yeah.
shouldn't look
Or
at
fucked
coming
it up.
here and being a slave as being a bad thing.
No,
You
you
are going to
should
come
like
here, you're
being a
going to work
slave.
and you're going to and
You're gonna like it. You're gonna like
you're going to
being a
like it
slave, says
and then you're
TK.
going to
For
you
mayor.
have no life,
Yeah.
but your
TK for
family will
mayor.
benefit from it because you'll be in the city and you'll get to benefit from they'll get to benefit the same way that kids of today are benefiting,
I
right?
think we should now. This is what we should start our co-platform for co-governors of the 51st state of the United States
Yeah.
of America. We should right make Canada great again. We should run
Yeah.
on that platform there. I think it's great. You will love being a slave. You'll own
Your
nothing, which
grandchildren will benefit from it.
only pertains to real estate, right? We did our
Welcome to
research.
Canada.
You will own nothing. You'll be happy. You'll be a slave and welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh, and just in case, your dollar's going to be worth even less, a year from now. And we're going to make sure we inflate the shit out of everything on top of that. And we're going to keep raising your taxes so that at the end of the day, you're probably around 19% you get to keep. And that's if you have a real good
But we were talking
accountant.
about it last time, okay, about the resources. If the US figures out how to tap into being a US state figures out how to tap into our resources, right?
God.
In order to be able to reduce the debt, reduce taxes, all that kind of stuff, then we all
Deficit.
get to benefit from it.
Yeah, and
You
then
know?
all of a sudden they become the fourth plus the first top oil producer on the planet. Like
Yeah.
GDP goes through the roof. Their power, I don't know if their power, does their power go through the roof?
Of course it does.
Yeah, like because we
Think
got that
about it. Like I
one
know our
army
economy is not that
unit,
big, but I mean, when you have that much land mass and you
oil,
have that many resources, your
potash,
power can only get better, right?
gold,
Yeah.
silver, platinum, palladium, uranium. Like
We
we
got
got
it.
everything, right? We got everything. We got wheat, we got soya beans, we got corn coming out of our ball
Let's talk.
sacks.
Let's talk about some of the development stuff, right? So
What development stuff? What
we
about
got a
this
one do you want
this
to talk
one
about?
on River Street? This
Yeah,
there's a cancellation that just happened. I worked
another
on
one of
that
many.
deal.
Many.
Well, but this one is weird because this one has been selling for a long time. I'm surprised that they're only just selling now because they bought that. I was working on that like 6, 7 years ago,
Yeah.
and they bought this like
Was it
must have
zoned
been
then?
7, 8 years ago, not zoned, but
Okay.
like big, beautiful piece. Shouldn't have been too hard to zone. I don't know what the hell would have happened. And I guess they probably started sales in COVID and it's just been like a fuck up ever since.
Yeah.
Right. I think if I remember correctly, they did actually launch in COVID. But I mean, they publicly announced that we are canceling and that's a long time to go for sales in COVID to
Yeah.
now.
And they
right?
even hit them with some price reductions too. They
Along
even
the
tried
way to
reducing the
keep it
price
alive, right?
5% to just to be able to try to keep interest, and that it's just not enough.
It's not a great area
I think there's
either.
like the designs. Yeah, the area is not great. The designs, the unit, the stock, the overall mood right now for people. Like, who really wants to buy an investment condo in an area that you can get another similar condo for much cheaper, right?
Yeah, I don't know
Ultimately,
who's
that's
looking
what it's
for
all
these
about.
little things.
If you want to go and buy a condo right now in that area, in near Regent Park, like there's a bunch of buildings that you can go buy a resale in right now. So if
Yeah.
you really need a place to live, if you really need a place to rent out, you have options. It's only in these really unique locations where, like, you've got something, you got this like waterfront condo that there's no other buildings nearby, or,
Yeah.
like your project, in the village where there's no other like new condos in the
Yeah.
village that you can walk to everything. Or you've got some like faraway community where it's like going to be able to provide a condo in an area that's never had condos before, like things like that. That's
Yeah.
when those projects will start to do well. But anything that's just cookie cutter stuff, I don't see anybody
No.
being interested in that stuff for a long time.
No, and somebody's going to have to figure out like how to absorb all of this stuff because
In
like
which
we
way?
already have a backlog and there's way more coming. Like way more coming.
When you say absorb, what do you mean?
Somebody has to own them or take the initiative to put renters in them somehow. Like they can't just sit like this for a while and while somebody's waiting for the market to come up and somebody's waiting for the market to come down as more and more of this stuff comes on the market. I mean, imagine what a disaster that could turn into, right? If everybody
It already
just,
is a disaster.
I know, but it's how,
This is a
imagine it being
disaster, Daryl. This is
double,
a disaster.
triple.
Wait till next year.
Yeah, you got
Like, how many people right now have called me because they're about to go power sale? You know how many over half the people that
on
are calling me
houses,
right
on
now,
houses. Yeah.
are going power sale.
Power
They're
sale.
not making their payments right now.
Well, they're like
Multiple
those
millions of
people.
dollars of debt.
They're like those people that I think we started talking about that are just, I guess, hanging on for dear life. They'd rather hang on to their expensive house than like
Yeah.
reset
And they're
and
all
move
coming to me
further.
like they're just like, well, the value of my home is what I paid plus the debt I put in, plus the renovations that I got, plus the commission, the profit that I want to make, and the money that I need to walk away with in order to have a down payment on the next place that I want to
Well,
buy.
and don't
And I'm
forget
like,
to sprinkle on a little stupidity on top, a little
and then let's just
buffer,
price it a
right?
little bit more to
Right.
negotiate.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm
that,
like,
yeah. So that they
so
can have
this
a
is how
win.
buyers determine value?
For sure it is. Of
This is
course
what
it
they
is.
do? They
No,
say, hey, what do I need to pay in order for this seller to make money?
no.
How can I make sure that this seller walks away whole?
They're
What
not.
buyer says that?
No, but what seller looks at it like from a realistic point of view and doesn't take into account what they
Some do,
spent?
but definitely not the ones that I'm talking to lately.
Why do they gotta
Who are
wait
in
so
trouble
long?
financially? Like, these guys are like, they're gonna lose their home.
Why do they wait so long? Why does everybody wait till it
It's a
goes power sale?
it's an emotional drain. You lose sleep, you lose hair,
Why
you
not
have
do it
no
before
idea
that? You know it's
how to be able.
coming. This
You
is
have
no
no idea how
surprise.
to navigate the situation. You make the same mistakes that got you in that situation all over again. You start making stupid financial decisions. You start borrowing more money.
These
You
surprises.
hire an agent who doesn't know what they're doing because they told you that they're going to charge you a lower fee. You think, "Oh my God, this is the answer. I'm
Yeah,
going to
two
save."
months can make a difference. Or
Yeah.
actually, some guys, you remember that story I told you? The guy just locked me in and told me to go fuck myself when I wanted to get out of the listing. Do you remember? As I was like
Yeah.
losing everything, the guy
Yeah, yeah,
locked
yeah.
me in and I just like, I lost control of my properties and then the market just kept going and boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm fucked.
But there is good news on the development side. So this Niagara power generating station, that's sort of like a public-private.
Yeah. Like, come
What do you
on.
think?
Come
That's just
on.
into a five-star hotel. I got
It's
a guy right now who wants to
cool.
develop. Let's just talk about Niagara. I got a guy who wants to develop something in Niagara too. Big project, big developer. He's got a lot of
Yeah, they're
experience and money behind him.
they're doing
But
big stuff in
why is he?
Niagara.
Why is like I don't get it. But he's hot on Niagara.
Yeah, because you can buy a property out in Niagara. You bought like a parking lot for 600 grand, and all of a sudden they're letting you do 40-story, three towers on this thing. That's why,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Problem is good luck getting someone to buy it now, right?
yeah.
But although
But this is a
that's the
hotel. These
place.
guys are doing a five-star hotel. So
Yeah, well, good luck getting people to go to that many rooms there. I mean, fucking Niagara Falls sucks. It's a bloody disgrace, quite honestly. And it could be something, I suppose,
yeah,
because there's a billion people there thinking that there's going to be something good there. Problem
it should be.
is
It should just be like a destination for Americans to come to,
everybody
right?
should be good, but what do we
Yeah.
get? We get this fucking hill with like the worst
We need an airport. They got Hamilton. They
airport,
need an international airport right inside Niagara. They need like
better
20 more
casinos.
casinos.
Yeah, let's
They
go.
need like 20 to 30 more
We need a
hotels.
dome, or what's it called? That big
They need
dome
a
thing
sports team. You know what I
sports
mean?
team. Yeah,
If
that's a
I was
good
going to do
idea.
Niagara, I'd do it right.
See, you should be
I'd do it
mayor of
right.
Niagara.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
maybe
that
when
would
I'm
work
governor
out.
of the 51st state.
Well, okay, so you started
I can
out
decide.
talking about the power plant generation, empty building that just got zoning, like approved zoning by
Yeah,
some hospitality group to turn it into a five-star hotel. And like that's
beautiful.
obviously the best use of, the public's land, right? And assets is to turn it into a five-star hotel. I mean, that makes the most sense in a housing crisis when we're trying to figure out where to put people. Let's make a five-star hotel out of the old
But
power
they won't.
plant.
They don't want to sell it though, so it's easier to do it this way for
This is just fucking utter
public land.
stupidity, and
Yeah.
it's cool. It's really fucking
But there's
cool.
other places. There's a quarry,
A quarry?
Queenston Quarry. That's got a big development there going on. There's a few other places. That's Niagara on the Lake.
All
There's a
the
few
post
other
offices.
places in the Niagara Falls region.
All post offices should go up for sale immediately. Do you miss the mail, TK? Do you miss the postal service? I know,
Right now, I can't say I do, but
no, but it's
you
been a
know,
while for,
I know that
what about
there's going to be a
Christmas?
time where I'm going to say, "What do you mean you can't send me that new fill in the blank?" You know,
I have a problem. Like
right? What about all
made
my
a
Christmas cards that I'm supposed to get this year?
we made an
Right
order
before
for
Christmas. This was
David's
strategic.
tea. David's tea is having some trouble getting to me. But other than that,
Courier that sucker.
I don't get to pick. We just press the button
Tell
and they
them, say
send the
special
free
delivery.
tea.
You didn't pay the extra $6 for the special delivery, did you?
I'm not in
You
charge of ordering tea,
you pressed
TK.
standard delivery, Daryl. I know you did.
Bro, well, my wife is cheap. She likes to
Oh, that's
save money.
Are you a real estate agent and you're looking to make a change anywhere in Ontario? Guess what? We're hiring. Franklin Associates, #1 team in the GTA for all Remax teams, #1 team for all teams from all companies for number of units sold throughout Toronto. So if you're looking to make a change, best decision I ever made was to join Franklin Associates. Go to jointeamleo.com and we can set up a call.
That's a good quality.
But seriously, who the hell needs the post office? And they have so many great properties in so many great areas that could so easily be turned into
To what?
beautiful apartment buildings built by me. I will develop
Okay,
all of
good.
them
Yes.
for the city for a fee of $1 million a month. I will do 10 buildings simultaneously. TK.
Yes. Yes.
I think that's a steal. I think
and it'll
as
be on
mayor,
this, and it'll be on the city's land. Who's
you
going to
should
fund
push
it?
that through. The city should fund it. Like, let's
So
go.
government
Give me
funded?
0%
Government funded
interest-free loan.
rentals. Okay.
Give me the money. Let's go. I'll build these things fast and on time and amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
a little cheap. They're gonna have to be a little cheap. Okay, TK. Let's not be crazy. Okay, they won't have
Okay.
any underground parking, and you may have to wave your
No
hand if
underground
you're
parking
hot.
for
No,
towers.
that's expensive. No towers. We're just gonna do a whole bunch of like stick framed, timber
No,
framed,
you don't
steel
get the contract.
framed
You don't get the contract.
buildings. No, because we got to move fast. We need robots. I keep telling everybody we need
Okay.
robots. We need 3D printers, and we could have a dome city in Bootonville, like lickety split. Okay.
I saw underground in Dubai, an
it.
underwater tennis court, tennis stadium.
Underwater tennis
Underwater.
stadium. This
So it's a
makes
big bubble
sense, yeah.
underwater, and there you can play tennis and watch tennis underwater.
So you have to build it first, and then I guess get it down there
I
and
guess you
keep
suck
the
out
water,
the
out.
water, and
Keep
then
the water out. It can never
Yeah.
get in, or you're fucked.
Well, they got a tunnel, I'm sure. I don't know.
One little bit of water turns into condensation somewhere, and then next thing you know,
They got that
Boom.
figured out, and they don't
Flood.
really care because they're going to make $0 off it. Just use oil money over the next 10 years, and then the ocean will just
Right.
reabsorb it, and they'll
$3
say that was fun.
trillion.
Yes, the underwater tennis. Oh, what should we do next?
Yeah, did you see
You know?
them screaming as the flood
Right.
came in? It was great.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is worth
wow,
the
wow, wow.
whole thing.
Next, we should get Mike Tyson to fight Bill Gates. Yes, this
Yeah.
will be good. I got a Russian
$1
accent now,
trillion
but
We
Yeah.
get Gates against Tyson, and Gates
Yeah.
will win. This will be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll get
So-
Netflix to sponsor it. Okay, what about
These-
speaking in accents? And not that he speaks with an accent, but
I refuse
if
to
the
talk about
sound
him.
was off, I picture him speaking with a very heavy accent. The son of a bitch, Jagmeet Singh, who's just holding up the entire
Watch your
country.
tongue.
He's holding up the whole.
If you were in
fucking
a room
country.
alone with him, would you say that to his face?
No, because that guy's a jujitsu master, right?
Right? Would you say it to his face? He's
I
probably a
would say
brown
it to
belt
his
now.
face.
I
I would
imagine he's a
say,
brown belt.
you look like you would have an accent to me. I'm sorry for thinking this way, TK.
Yeah.
But
He'd be right
why?
up in your face. You saw
He'd
him
be
yell
right
at
up in
that
my
guy
face. Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
one time. And that was a big guy. It
Yeah,
was
but
like
I
this
wouldn't.
big dude who's like standing there and he's just like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
man, the guy get behind me or something
yeah.
like that.
But you don't
And
know
he's
me,
like,
TK. When I see red, I'll be like, Jag meat,
when you
fuck
see
you,
red,
man. Let's go. I'll
I don't
fuck you
know,
up,
man.
man.
You've never, you've
I know
never,
TK Butler. Okay, I know
yeah,
TK.
that might
TK's
help.
on his way here. He's supposed to be here any minute. I
Me and
swear to
Jags,
God.
me and
No, but
Jags are buddies.
seriously, this guy's holding the whole country hostage. Everybody, including him, wants Trudeau out of this place. He wants Trudeau. Everybody wants Trudeau to stop screwing up our country. Can't look. We feel the need to wear Canadian flags. We want to make Canada great again. We're not complainers. We're patriots. TK.
We love this country.
We love this country. I want it to be like it was when I grew up here. I want to go to Tim Hortons and know what the fuck is going on. Okay. I want to, I want to be able to drive on the street and get somewhere. TK.
Yeah.
I want to be able to see kids play road hockey again. Cause that is like, I just want to go back in time to 1984 when things were normal, when wrestling was real, TK, right? Like when food didn't poison you all the time. Like, can we go
Yeah.
back to a different time
When the government was on your side.
when the government was behind you? But no, now
Yeah.
we get Jag Meat fucking sing. Trudeau, I'm against you. Okay, fine. I'm with you. I'm still with you. This is so great. I'm going to support you, and I don't care if everybody fucking hates me.
Listen.
How can you be so hated by everybody and not care? How do you keep doing this shit, Jag Meat? How do you keep doing it?
It's politics, and he's politicking. So that's just what he is.
Lying.
But let's get on. Let's get on it.
Paul
Jags,
a
sorry
liar.
about that. I tried to control him and not let
Don't
him
want to
talk
talk
too
about
much.
Jag Meat sing.
No, Jags, he's doing good. He's training
Do you, like,
jiu-jitsu.
do you
He's good at
train
my.
with him at the same
No, never
gym?
trained with him before in my life. But guess what?
What?
He's part of the brotherhood. So
Oh,
that's
is
just the way
there
it
like
goes.
a unwritten code that you need to
Yes.
defend his honor?
Yes.
So anybody with jujitsu training should be honored by everyone with jujitsu training.
Yes. That's now you're good. And if you want to train, let me know. We got Ace Martial Arts in Pickering. That's just opened up. If you live out those ways, we've got, which is AACE. We got Action Reaction. That's in North York, Markham, and Pickering as well.
Where's Simon's place? Is that one of the
Simon's
ones
is
that you
Action
named?
Reaction, Markham. Yeah.
How funny is that? That's crazy.
Yep. So you guys can come check us out. Free trial class.
Let's go.
Get down with it. Way to go.
Yeah.
So what about all these REITs? So is a REIT the ideal landlord for a tenant?
Well, listen, it depends. And this is actually funny because I was talking to a guy a couple days ago. He took me for a lovely lunch, TK. I had to wear a suit to this lunch. The place was so fancy. But we were talking after, and he was saying, man, you gotta come invest in Calgary or Edmonton. It was Edmonton. And he's like, there's no rent control there. Like you come in and buy a building where they're renting stuff for $1,200 and you can get $2,400 for it the next day. He goes, this place is like the Wild West. It's unbelievable. It's unreal. And I said, yeah, but like, what happens when it's not? He goes, yeah, there's going to be a day where I wish I probably got out a little bit sooner. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I trust it, but this is what's going on. And so if this guy is talking to me about it, TK, imagine what the hell must be going on out there. Right. Because now the CMHC financing works kind of here in Toronto, but you know where it works? In Edmonton, in Saskatchewan, right? In Winnipeg, right? Maybe even in Quebec City, because that's actually affordable. But all these places like that, in that kind of bracket.
So here's the rental apartment and condominium apartment vacancy rate history. All right. So if you go back, right, where, right now, who knows exactly where it is. Maybe it's at a lower rate, 1-2%.
In Edmonton?
Edmonton, yeah. But
Yeah.
you have years like 2008, 2009, 2010, it went up like over 5%, 2011 over 5%. So there's a lot of fluctuations in the vacancy rates
Well, how high
in
or low
Edmonton.
is the worst vacancy rate like out that way in the last, I don't know, how long is this chart?
Over 5%.
5%?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that hurts, but that's not the end of the world,
I guess not. No.
is it?
But it
I
definitely
mean, for some
affects
people,
it definitely affects
if you just
rents,
tripled
right?
the rents though and didn't even have to do anything. See, that appeals to me, TK.
Yeah.
Being able to buy a building and actually being able to do what I want with it. And you know what? If you kick somebody out and you raise the rent and nobody comes and you lose a great tenant that took care of the place and you end up renting it to some asshole who burns the place down, right?
Yeah.
Was this a good idea? Who fucking cares? It's my place. I should get to fuck that up, right? Just like you're saying with Airbnbs. Like, who fucking cares? It's my place. I want it to be an Airbnb if the service is legal. But the
Yep.
problem is now the service isn't legal.
Yeah, as long as
It-
nobody dies, but the people have choices if they want to move away from those properties or not. But yeah, I understand. The tenancy laws need to change. Right now, the landlord tenant board in Ontario is absolutely atrocious. It's the worst, most dysfunctional part of any of the government arms, any of the systems, more than the family or criminal or any of the other court systems, more than law enforcement, more than um, tax departments. Like it's literally the most dysfunctional part of the provincial government right now. And so,
Correct.
how does that change? I mean, to have a major overhauling, you got 50% of the population who's going
AI.
to be sticking up.
AI. Listen, even with planning, okay,
Yeah.
I'd rather deal with an irrational AI program that just says, look, this is not my interpretation. Like, this is how it is. Okay. Like,
Hmm.
that's it.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Adjust. Okay.
Yeah.
Adjust to within the parameters. Then, like, all this crazy, oh, you know what? It's okay. I changed my mind, or oops, I made a mistake, or, I talked to my boss and this is how we're interpreting it now. Sorry, we looked at it differently before, and that now it's completely in our favor. I don't
Hmm.
even know. Like, are we
Oops.
against them? Are we on the same? Are we on the same? Like, what's going on? Are we trying to get more units on, or are we just trying to make sure that there's enough grass on the property? Right? Like, do I want to build a property that doesn't have enough grass for the people to want to live here? Like,
Hmm.
am I that dumb? But the problem is people are dumb. Like, people were
Yeah.
designing units that you can't even believe. Like, why would you do that? Why would you make people walk through the bedroom? Okay, who in their right mind imagined this idea where you have a bedroom at the back of the unit, but it's okay because the door's got like some frosted glass on it, so it's got sunlight, it counts as a bedroom now, right? Like,
Yeah.
who the hell? But people were buying them. People were
Yeah.
buying them
Some
because
planner signed off on it.
they didn't
It was
even
like
look at it though.
that meets the bylaw.
Right, but
That
the
meets the
buyers
code.
didn't care. The buyers didn't care. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
The buyers, what they look at, oh, I'm going to flip this piece of paper for 50 grand in 3 years from now, or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
150 grand in 5 years from now. That's all they cared about, right?
Yeah.
And that's all the builders cared about, because at the end of the day, if you're selling it for those numbers, you're hitting your profit target, you're getting your fees, the thing's moving forward. And really, I mean, oh God, I hope they're so comfortable. I hope they're like happy in the place. No, it's I hope I don't have to fix anything, right? I
Yeah.
hope it goes okay. I hope the windows don't fall and kill anybody,
Yeah.
right? It's not I hope that this is a beautiful home for the people, because the system's not designed for you to have to think that way. But
Yeah.
if all this restriction and all these rules were taken off, right? And all this manipulation was taken out, and I had to be like, what, how do I build the building that people are going to want to come and pay me good money for and want to live here for a long time? Like, then I build a different product. But it was just make it as small as possible so that the price can be this, and get it on the market quick and sell it to some Chinese dudes, right? And
But
and
but but we're actually in that. If you actually just listen to what you just said, we're actually in that environment now. Now builders are forced to We've already seen people change some of their plans and gone back for adjustments in the unit numbers, right?
Yeah,
So
but
more three
just going
bedrooms, more two
higher.
bedrooms.
Yeah, a couple
Okay.
people are starting to adjust. A couple
Okay.
people.
But now
Yeah.
more and more plans will be coming out where the
Yeah.
advisors of these developers are going to be saying, hey, listen, man, you can't just put in a bunch of 300 square foot units and expect people to buy it. We're going to need this many 3 bedrooms, this many 2 bedrooms, this many 1 bedrooms. 1 bedrooms need to have this type of. So we're actually into that phase already.
We're into that, but we have
Yeah.
200 cranes to take out of the old system that need to get
Yeah.
sorted out somehow.
Well, the cranes are already up,
That's
so those can't be
scary.
sorted. So now we're going to have a new wave of housing that's going to get built. And just like every wave of housing, it has its characteristics that at the time made sense for the environment, and then it changes.
For the environment.
That's it.
And then it
Yeah, and so
changes.
we're gonna go into a more end user centric type of building structure and layouts and floor plates. That's what it's going to be, and it's going to be designed for more families. You can't build houses anymore.
No, you're
the
gonna
the housing market too is not going to start to crash as far as detached houses. Like we're not going to start to see another 25% decline in detached house prices.
no,
Like it's
'cause no
just
one's really selling them.
no, it's just that there's a floor, and
No
that
one's
exactly
building
the
them.
people who own them, 42% in Toronto don't have mortgages, right? And that a lot of them are all baby boomers. They got money, so they don't really need to sell it if they can't sell it for a price that makes sense to them. And so
Yeah.
that there are some people who will have to be transacting next year. There's definitely going to be more downward pressure on prices because of the economic environment we're in. But a major crash to the detached housing market is unlikely.
No,
But the
what's
condo market, that's a
yeah.
whole nother story. We
Well,
got a
and
huge noise in the background right now of the condo market with all those pre-constructions that were sold that nobody wants, all those buildings that aren't going to be closing, all those people who are going to be concerned about, renewing their rates, right? And if there is a
right.
downward pressure on rents, the rental market's not going to bail them out. There's
Well, and this is
inflation
the
starting to
thing,
come
though.
back up again. The likelihood of rates dropping down to the point that they're going to be able to go back to the bank and refinance out their issues is pretty low,
Yeah.
right?
So, but that whole adjustment that you're talking about, here's the problem with the adjustment of going to bigger units and stuff. The timing right now, the only way it works at the moment, because nobody's buying anything, you have people are going to be building bigger units in rental buildings. Okay. Because
Sure.
nobody is going to be able to come to market with something that they own already, make bigger units for less money
And
and
sell it.
make that thing work, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you bought it at a point where the rental performa can work now, depending on the location. But that's what you're going to see first, is you're going to see a bunch of like good rental product come on the market that hopefully people want, right? And hopefully
Mhm.
people can afford because they're bigger, they're going to cost more per month, right? So where are the condos that people want to live in to buy? Like when are
Mhm.
those going to ever hit the market other than the 10 that get built in the building because the city made them? Those are like the saving grace now, is the 3 bedrooms and the bigger 2 bedrooms that people actually want to buy. But
Yeah.
they're stuck with all the little shit forever.
Yeah.
Somebody has to come up with a fund that can like absorb them, whether it's the government or private people that can just come in and save the day from people that are about to just die, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
start absorbing the shit and let them Airbnb the shit out of those things so that they can make some fucking money.
Yeah. Like there should be Airbnb buildings,
Or give somebody a big tax
right?
break to absorb all this shit and manage it all until it gets
Yeah.
to a certain value. Or I don't
Yeah.
fucking know. There's got to be better ideas than just getting rid of all the Airbnbs from one week to the next.
Yeah. If
What are
you
they
can
gonna
do a
come up with
purpose-built
next week?
rental, you should be allowed, 20% short-term rental suites, something like that. So like you can have like a different arm of your property management company that's just managing like the units in this one part of the building or something like that. So it's like a little hotel,
I don't know.
right?
Well,
These are ideas.
these are ideas.
We're the ideas guys. We're
Maybe they should put
sometimes
us
things
on.
actually happen, sometimes they
Yeah,
don't, but at least we got the ideas.
they should
And it's
put us
all
on a
video stamped.
special.
It's video stamped on the internet for people to see.
That's right. There's documentation of it.
Yeah.
We should make like our own government efficiency division, like that Doge that Elon is doing in Canada. That should be you and me, I think. Either way,
Perfect.
we should either be mayor, governor, or
Yep.
part of this like efficiency commission. Because is there really anybody else out there that really wants to make a difference like you and I, TK? I
Probably
mean,
not.
I
I don't
can't
see anybody
imagine.
else wearing make Canada Great Again hats. Now,
No, and
if you
trying to
went to the
sell
link
them
below in the
for a
merch store,
profit. Yeah.
you could buy one of these great hats.
Yeah.
You
And
might
I mean,
even be able to buy one of these great ties. I don't know.
who
Or
in-
even one of these great jackets. But one thing is for sure.
you have to subscribe to figure that out. No,
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that one thing is for sure. But
no. And
guys,
that's a great place to leave you.
We'll see you next week.
Bye. So
So every year we raise money for a amazing organization called Emily's House. Emily's House is a children's hospice. It's something that, geez, that's something that you don't really want to ever have to, bring your kid to. But it is there. They're downtown. We support them. We got a toy drive. We got a fundraiser. It's a really, really, really amazing opportunity for people. So you could go to our website, which is getleo.com/Emily's House. To donate. You can donate online today. We really appreciate it. Or you can go to any Remax West office and drop off toys. I'll pick them up myself and drop them off, but I appreciate it if you guys can support. I'll put a link down at the bottom in the description for anybody who's looking to support this amazing, amazing cause. We're looking to beat the record that we did last year, which was umpteen $1,000. We're trying to get to $20,000 this year, and we really appreciate your guys' support.
Chop it.